Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is Martin Luther King Day. It is Monday, 2018. I got a lot of emails asking me what I meant by educated conspiracy theorist. Well, I'll tell you. I get a lot of flack. I get a lot of people looking down at me, even in the truth community, because of the topics that I cover. I don't cover everyone's a transgender. I don't think that everyone's a reptilian. I don't even believe in aliens or UFOs. None of that. What I cover is the enormous cabal that has taken over all the militaries of the world, all the governments of the world, all the religions of the world, basically, and all the banks of the world. I talk about scientism. I talk about scientism a lot. Because if you don't understand that going back to the 40s and 50s and 60s, there have been patents in place and things that are in use now that use the same old black magic that John Dee, Isaac Newton, Sir Francis Bacon, the Geordie Roses, the David Keiths, the people that run CERN, the people that run ITER, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary today on MLK, which is strange, but if you don't know what ITER is, it's an enormous tokamak. They're trying to replicate a neutron star on our planet. But that's cool. That's cool. Nothing could possibly go wrong. But I digress. What are educated conspiracy theorists? They're people that come on here and they read the Drudge Report and they read CNN and they grab all the headlines and they tell you about them. I used to do that too, until I understood that it's all bullshit. The mainstream is all scripted. Everything that's put out is put out on a script. They use social media to see what sets us off and what direction they can set us off in. I stopped doing that. You might have noticed. Certain channels want to be the new mainstream media. They want to bring the real truth to the masses using YouTube and Vimeo and other platforms. And that's great. The only problem is, if you're going to ignore the fact that we are living in the midst right now of an enormous conspiracy, one so great that when confronted with it, people won't even be able to realize it. J. Edgar Hoover said that. Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have a script in front of me. This is me doing this while I'm driving. If you don't understand that we are living in the culmination of a conspiracy and a string of conspiracies they keep pulling off to keep the big conspiracy covered up, you're not telling anybody anything. The stuff that I talk about always ends up coming out in the news a year or 6 months later, or other channels finally pick up on it. If you don't think that CERN and D-Wave and quantum computing and science and global warming, some people actually understand that global warming is a lie. Well, you know what that means? It means it's a conspiracy. And it's enormous, and global warming is literally trying to push the entire world in a certain direction under the guise that somehow carbon dioxide is bad for the planet. Carbon dioxide is plant food. Stop cutting down the trees, stop clear-cutting the rainforests, and everything would be fine. Stop spraying the skies, David Keith, Harvard University, Solar Shield 2017 and Solar Shield 2018, and we wouldn't have any issues. Mankind has been trying to control weather since probably World War II, maybe before. The first time they used it was Operation Popeye during Vietnam on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. They made it rain so that it would wash out the trail and slow the troops down, even though that entire war, like every other war, was based off of a lie or a conspiracy. The Gulf of Tonkin. Robert McNamara came out years later and said, yes, that never actually did happen. So there's that. But I digress. Educated channels are the guys that want to keep talking about things like, is the universe a simulation? Is all of this fake? Educated conspiracy theorists want to talk about the patents, but don't want to talk about the fact that these things are actually real and demonic entities are being let into our reality. Worse yet, demonic entities are going to be released into our reality. That's the grand scheme. And actually, they're going to be given physicality. People say all the time, the demons are already here. They are. But we can't see them. We can't really sense them. There are people working right now, and I've already shown you the patents. They're trying to give physicality to demonic spirits. Men's hearts will fail from fear from what walks this earth. Monsters, chimeras, minotaurs, centaurs, devils, angels, demons, blah, blah, blah. Certain channels just don't want to go that route, and that's fine. That's why the pool of channels that I've listened to has drained down to a select hand few. That's it. I don't really watch other channels because I don't want it to affect what I'm saying. You know what I do all the time, and everyone that knows me will tell you this. I listen to hours upon hours upon hours of podcasts with real people, like Susan Clark, for instance, Graham Hancock, for instance. Do I agree with everything? Absolutely not. Susan Clark is under the impression that there's a great spirit, but won't say the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. Her information's still valid. She understands that 5G is going to be used to hurt humanity. I'll do you one better. 5G is going to turn on. It's going to hit you with an electromagnetic pulse of microwaves that are going to make you think whatever they want you to think. Do you understand that? Think about this. Go and listen to everything that we've heard from the head lobbyist about the 5G network coming out with tens of billions of dollars. They're not going to test it. They don't need to test it because they've already tested it. They're not going to test it to see if it's safe for humans because they've already done that and they know it's not. But they're not going to test it publicly. But they're still putting it up right now. 5G, all of these cameras, all of these computers are simply recreating God's ability to see and hear all things at all times, except this is going to be Satan once again mimicking, copying what God is able to do. Those channels that are worried about saying too much because they don't want to be, nobody wants to be wrong. I'd rather be wrong than not have said anything whatsoever at all. But that's just me. Richie from Boston.